Survivor Series is this Sunday, and we have the full card to go over, with the exception of one person not being on one team, but we'll get to that later on. First off, the kickoff match, the only one so far, there'll probably be another one in the next few days made, is the 5-on-5 tag team, traditional Survivor Series to elimination match. We haven't seen one since last year, and before that we haven't seen one since maybe the first Survivor Series back in the day, or the past couple ones, the first ones at that point. At least I can remember. But actually being an actual tag team match, if that makes sense. So it will be representing Raw, the teams, respectfully, of Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, the Ascension, the B Team, the Revival, and the Lucha Fangs, or the Lucha House Party, whatever you want to call them. Will be facing the Usos, the New Day, the Colognes, which are still here, which is great to see. Haven't seen them in months. So the Colognes, Gallows Anderson, and Sanity. Again, as far as New Day and the only wild cards here are New Day, Sanity, and the Lucha Fangs. Of course, the Lucha Fangs were being on 205 Live for the past couple of months. Now they're being part of Raw, so that's why they're in this, and not part of a cruiserweight match in the kickoff or something like that. These Survivor Series matches are hard to call. At least the traditional ones are hard to call because just because of so many variables. In this case, a minimum of 10 people have to lose, or a minimum of at least 9 in this case have to lose because of the tag team. So I will pick, and this is a complete crapshoot here, I'm going to pick SmackDown just because I feel they have the better team. A lot of these tag teams have been underutilized and not used properly, so I'm just going to go with that. Next up, the Battle of the Tag Team Champions, as the new tag team champions, the new tag champs for Raw, the AOP, will face the Bar, the SmackDown Tag Champions, and of course AOP have 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick in their corner, which that's been a confusing thing too because he's leading the AOP, and at the same time he's the general manager, so that's kind of a conflict of interest, but he's only in charge of the cruiserweight, so it's not a big deal, I assume. But with that being said, Big Show will be in the corner of the Bar, and Big Show has been in a big way a cause for the Bar to be the champions from the one pattern SmackDown. I will pick the AOP because the AOP have been dominant. They should be dominant. They should be the modern day Legion of Doom, the modern day Road Warriors. They should be. They haven't been, but they should be. Next up, we have the Cruiserweight Championship as Buddy Murphy defends against Mustafa Ali. This is a rematch of sorts, as Ali has not been medically cleared to face Buddy Murphy until recently. I'm going to pick Buddy to retain just because it's the easier pick, and Mustafa Ali, as much as I like him, probably is not ready for the title yet. Now, where it gets interesting, the traditional men's Survivor Series match, as Braun, he's a captain, but he's not technically part of the team. Acting General Manager Corbin will be leading Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley on one team. And on the other side, the captain, The Miz, will be leading Commissioner and Best in the World, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, and Samoa Joe. Now, I will pick Raw only because of the caveat we had a couple of days ago of Braun having Raw win would ensure him a Universal Championship match and would ensure him a match with Corbin, as well as him being able to pick the stipulations. So I will pick Raw on that just to see that happen. And we also have the women's traditional Survivor Series matchup. Excuse me. As we have the teams representing Raw. First off, the captain not being a part of the match due to concussions and such. Alexa Bliss will be leading the team of Natalya. The Mickie James, Ruby Riott, and the Samoan Dynasty of Tamina and Nia Jax. Facing not having a captain anymore. Because of a certain match we'll get to later. The team of Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, and a random fifth person because of something that happened later on, which we'll talk about as well. I will pick Raw, SmackDown, even with the woman disadvantage, because we don't know who the mystery person is, which could be beneficial to SmackDown, but also we have the infighting of Natalya and Ruby Riott that will cross them out and not be a part of this match because of Ruby Riott's destruction of the sunglasses of the late, great Jim the Admiral Neidhart, her father. So that will be a problem there. Next up, the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins faces the United States Champion and the Face of America, Shinsuke Nakamura. I will pick Nakamura based on the fact that Rollins is focused on Ambrose, not 100% focused on Nakamura. It just makes sense there. Next up, the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, we talked about this last time, will now face Charlotte because of an injury that happened a couple nights ago on Raw. That happened when Becky Lynch undeniably staked her claim as the man, destroying the entire Raw roster. And only because Nia Jax fucking popped her in the fucking skull, made her face bleed, gave her a concussion, gave her a horrible looking black eye, as we saw last night on SmackDown, to where her face was bleeding from every orifice possible, which is ridiculous that it even happened in the first place. But because of that, Becky is not medically cleared, therefore she picked Charlotte last night on SmackDown to replace her. This is the match people have wanted for a while. People said, oh, this could be a WrestleMania match. This could be a main event and a pay-per-view, which it could be. I will pick Ronda because that way you could move towards the Ronda-Becky match next year. And I feel that would be Ronda's toughest test to date. And if she were to lose, it wouldn't be a surprise to me because it's fucking Charlotte. And finally, the change of a lifetime, the match we wanted since Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker's undefeated streak. We've talked about it for years, what it could have been. Now we're going to see it as the new Universal Champion Brock Lesnar faces the new WWE Champion Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan won the title last night on SmackDown after some infighting with AJ Styles and some interesting tactics, I will say, with distracting the referee, low-blowing AJ, attacking him after the match, and this is the match people have wanted. 4 years. 4 years in the making. And it's going to be great. I will pick Daniel Bryan just because I want to see it happen. It's what I've wanted to see happen for years, and I don't know if it will happen, but it will be the match of the fucking year. And that is a quote for sure. And if that Survivor Series is this Sunday, and we'll have any update on any potential kickoff matches and the replacement for Survivor Series for the women's team if it comes out in time.